Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Let me share my screen real quick and we will get going. So I'm talking about building a website analytic application, the kind of application. So it's not a application itself, it's a part of an application that allows us to collect info about what our users are doing on our website and get some sort of a useful insight from this, like what pages they're visiting, how many users we have per day, per week, per month, what are most common entry pages, exit pages, etc. So what pages they are visiting, what pages they are not visiting, but should be visiting, etc. It's the whole lot of things we can do once we have this data. So let's start from the very beginning, and the beginning would be collecting the data. So let's take a look. So I have already built a small part of the application. I have created this kind of table named analytics, and on every page that the end user opens, we store a page name, the full URL, because there is information like search or master details that needs to be stored. Also user ID, because this is an application that requires a login. We will talk about other types of applications as well. IP address, just in case, and start time, end time. So let me show you how I do this and why I'm doing this. I need to make sure that we do not log request to search suggest file, because this is not something that that's like not a regular page. I would call it a service page, and it will not provide much information for us. Maybe it would, but for now I will just going to skip it. So I have created a list of pages that we do not need to log, and the files like file PHP, which we use to display images, AJAX requests to button handler, analytics page itself, and search suggest is already here. I just need to make sure that it was saved and built. Okay, so let me show you what happens here. Every time we hit this any of the pages in our application, after application initialized event will be called. And what we're doing here, we just create a simple array that stores IP address. Session ID is a PHP specific function, and it provides us a session ID, internal PHP session ID. I mean, if you can collect it, it's useful, and we can also store the username. The difference between username and session ID, both can be used to identify the user, but there is a slight difference, and I will explain it. So URL is a complete URL with a search query string, so we can record search and see what pages users view or edit, like it is a view or edit page, right? And also we just save the start time, because we don't know when users are going to exit this page, so we will do it a little bit later in a different part of the code. So this is like initial record is created. We don't save it yet. First, if there was a previous page, we update the exit time. So let me show you what the SQL does, and it will make a little bit more sense. So we need to find the previous page. So session ID is a pretty reliable way to identify a user session. Okay, let me show you what it does, this kind of query, and it will make a little bit more sense. So our table name, table named analytics. Let's start from the very beginning. It just shows you everything that we have here. So let's order for a ID. So it shows the most recent entries first. So if user has multiple sessions, so if they log out, come back later and log in again, there will be different sessions. So we just want to make sure that we found the correct page that belongs to the current session, because you see user 2 has a session, but you can see that at some point there was a different, I mean, maybe not for user 2, but it will be a different session. So session ID is something that tells us that user is still on the website. And if we execute this kind of query, okay, let me paste this first. And I pick up the latest session ID. So this is what this query does. So we just select the ID of the latest existing entry right here. Okay, let me show you all this. And before we add a new entry, before we create a new entry in this table, we want to update the end time. So we just know how much time they spent on the page. So this is what we do by executing this kind of query. We retrieve the ID of the latest existing record in analytics table that belongs to the same session. And then we update it with end time with the current date time. And then we can finally, if again the page is not one of the service pages, right here, exclude array. If it's not in there, it is like a regular page, we insert a new entry into analytics. So this is how it works, and it does work. Okay, so end time work as a situation. In this situation, it will work, but there are some other situations that we probably need to address as well. So let's take a look at this, okay, and make sense. So let's log out and log in again as a different user. I just want to show you how data changes when we do this. So, or we can log on as the same user. Okay, we do log out, and we log on as user 2 again. We do this, and we proceed to one of the pages, some other page, etc. We take a look in the analytics table. Okay, it makes sense. Okay, what about if we proceed to employees? And let's do this. I right-click, open link in a new tab. Okay, we open this page. So what happens if we, like before I touch anything here, so I don't want to invoke our logic yet. Let's see what happens, what kind of data we have in the database right now, right? So I just going to select all data and without the web clause, so we just see what kind of data we have here. Okay, so what happened here? End time was updated of the previous page. This is our first tab, right? And second tab, because we still on that page, we didn't go anywhere yet. The end time is open. So it does work because you can see that even if we open a new browser tab, our session ID is the same. And this is how we know like which record to update when we open a new page. So we update this one first, and we create a new entry. So what like when this end field is not going to be updated? Let's test logout situation first. We can log out from any of the tabs. Let's log out from this tab, log out, and go back to the database. Take another look. Okay, we can see that customers list exit was here. So we spent 2 minutes on that page, almost 2 minutes. And then when we choose logout action, we open the same page with action logout. Probably not very useful to have 2 different entries like this, but I think it's okay. That's not really a problem. And the login page, we are just redirected to the login page. Probably, again, we may or may not log the login page itself. I don't really know if that's like useful or not useful. Maybe not. Again, depending on what kind of like patterns, usage patterns our users will create. So you may adjust this kind of logic. And if you want to add login page to the list of excluded pages, if you don't find this kind of entry useful, or like this one, right, then you can definitely add it to the exclusion list right here. So it's something that is up to you. So